Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, and today I have for you a 1 vs 1 on Langres. Yes, indeed. In the fields of Langres, two forces shall be clashing for dominance, for glory, for honor, for victory. Well, of course, only one side can actually win. And, of course, who shall be fighting well today? We're going to have a bit of an interesting fight. We're going to have two rank 16 players. Yes, indeed, two rank 16. In the southern corner, we are seeing ChargerReloaded of the 1st Infantry Division, ready to fight for Uncle Sam and the Star Spangled Banner. Opposing him shall be SS EliteJager. Not entirely sure what the SS is supposed to mean. Sounds a bit silly, but nonetheless, fighting for the Panzer Elite. Yes, indeed, the Panzer Elite of all the elites. Fighting for the 17th... Oh, let's not say those chaps. Let's say the 2nd SS Panzer Division das Reich. Yes, indeed. And also note, I've actually gotten some new skins for the Panzer Elite by Half Track. Thought those looked pretty snazzy, so I'm trying those out. Some rather different details. And let's get right down to it. Also note, I'm very close to the 1700 subscribers. Of course, get a few more, and of course I'll be doing a double cast. So if you want it today, perhaps you might want to recruit a few subscribers some way or the other. And I'm certainly also sort of closing in on the 1 year anniversary of the Propagandacast having operated in a 1 year sort of cycle. So of course that shall be interesting as well. There's about a few weeks for that. But we are sort of seeing the sort of usual start here from the Americans. 2 engineers, although he's going pretty swiftly here towards the east. He might be intending something here with the resources here. On the other hand, we are seeing a double Kettenkrad start from a Jaeger or EliteJager. Not really the SS had Jaegers. I think the Jaeger was sort of a... there was the Gebirgsjäger, which was sort of an elite infantry unit, of course, for fighting in mountainous areas, but there was also the Jaeger, which was a regular sort of more elite, though, unit for sort of fighting in tough terrain. Bit light infantry, but still, able to do quite a bit. So, and there we go, some proper Panzer Grenadiers marching out for the father, and except in this case, they all have the same look. A bit funny that, but sort of new uniforms, new camouflage in this case. Barracks up, and he's sort of focusing again in the east, so he might be intending to sort of place most of his focus here in the eastern half. I mean, that's one way you can sort of do things, is partly also determining where you place your structures, where do you want to focus your efforts. So in that sense, a good idea. Dual rifle on the start. He apparently got a bit laid up with that barracks though, and he didn't have the other engineers to actually help. So of course a bit of a threat there. And we're immediately also seeing a Kampfgruppe company coming out for EliteJager. Could he be so keen on swiftly getting armored cars, or could he have something else in mind? Well, only one way to find out. But he is quickly securing a lot of territory. Panzer is marching towards the east. Gewehr 43 in hand. Engineers coming under fire. And then engineers quickly retreated off the field. And looks like this Kettenkrad could be running into some problem, running into some rifle. In fact, shooting away at the Kettenkrad, doing a fair bit of damage. Almost knocking it out, in fact. And these Panzer Grenadiers here have finished the Kampfgruppe company. So the question is, what will be happening after that? And will there be more Panzer Grenadiers anytime soon? In the meanwhile, ChargerReloaded keeps sending in riflemen. 2 rifleman teams on the field now. He is, though, penned in again. These sort of early Panzer Grenadiers, and now sort of Kettenkrad's really making it a bit harder for him. And now he seems a bit hesitant, a bit unsure what to do. Splitting out a bit. Panzer Grenadiers inside the building here, firing away. Kettenkrad under fire. The other one sort of being very cautious, being very low in health. And there we go, the second team of Panzer Grenadiers arriving. Riflemen moving up. Could they be trying to flank, or what could they be doing? Kettenkrad pushed off there, again heavily damaged. Engineers doing what they can over here in the west. And here down there as well. No, we are in fact seeing an infantry half-track coming out for EliteJager. Fancy that. And only after 2 Panzer Grenadier teams, but again he's sort of gone for double Kettenkrads, thus, giving him quite a bit more capturing power, perhaps, just using the Panzer Grenadiers early on for a slightly more defensive measure, but of course now with the infantry half, of course, you'll be much more easily able to sort of hold it all, since you can actually get them from point A to point B more swiftly, and of course reinforce them, and of course also meaning less downtime on the front line, since they won't have to run back to the base to reinforce, rather than here in a slight skirmish here, taking losses and being forced away by the Panzer Grenadiere of the 2nd SS Panzer Division, quickly making their way over to the half track. I said quickly. And we're in fact seeing a 2nd infantry half track, so only 2 Panzer Grenadier teams, 2 infantry half tracks, and 2 Kencrats. And is he getting another one? What is he getting? Oh, the questions, the questions. Apart from advancing up here.
Operation posts report we are losing the
4 rifleman teams so far fighting right here. Of course, the infantry half track is able to get off quite a bit of firepower. Of course, reinforce the Panzer Grenadiers at the front lines. And there we go, 2nd infantry half track arriving. Quite the mechanized force right here. Certainly that was how some Panzer Grenadiers fought, you know, using lots of infantry half tracks. Basically, other sorts of half tracks. That would be the reconnaissance force. They didn't all, you know, have lots of tanks available for them.
Contact with one of our sectors.
Kencrat almost armed, but a Panzer Grenadier team comes to the rescue in their infantry half track, the EliteJager. And charging at the riflemen, denying them a bit of cover. Panzer is jumping out though, a bit crazily. 2nd infantry half track moving in to sort of intersperse itself. Infantry half track pretty damaged, and riflemen being pushed away. Quite a bit going on. BAR's actually going up for ChargerReloaded. I'm not entirely sure that might be a good idea.
We are losing a sector.
Could sort of be playing into his hands with all this automatic fire and all such. And it could also result in other things, and that was pretty quickly repaired, I think. Has he gone for expert? Yes, indeed, he's also gone pretty quickly for expert repair, so he can quickly repair his infantry half tracks. Pretty snazzy that. That's also something you actually rarely see now. We are in fact seeing the Browning automatics are up. No medic stations though to sort of help with all of this infantry that ChargerReloaded already has amassed, and no supply yards either. And Kencrat is now getting repaired by the now expert repair. Panzer Grenadiers, a 3rd team has arrived, moving in from the north. And opening up on some engineers with a flamethrower, but they're just trying to cut things off. And in fact, rather looks like the Americans had turned the table in terms of territory against the Panzer Elite commander of EliteJager. And riflemen are now charging in. Lots of fire, lots of automatic fire. Kencrat could be going down. Kencrat, yes. Oh dear, Kencrat is out of control. Infantry half track left to fight against all of this. And the BARs do quite a bit of damage running into the building. Broadside, yes indeed. This could end up very badly, and I hope, yes indeed, EliteJager does pull away from this, knowing he can't really fight against that. That would simply mean too much damage, and of course he can quickly repair the damage done to the infantry half track. Of course, some of you might be wondering, well, why is this a good idea? Because, well, partly he's actually using the infantry half track to sort of absorb the damage and actually keep attrition down, which is rather one of the things when you're playing the Panzer Elite you really have to worry about. That's, you know, doing your best to sort of avoid constantly having to replace your troops, and, you know, using infantry half tracks to quickly transport them around, and of course then having elite repairs to sort of thus also quickly repair the half tracks so they don't go so quickly down either. I mean, pretty damn clever. I've never thought of something like that. So I mean, in that sense, I mean, this could really help, and of course any sort of losses that may then of course appear, which they probably will inevitably though, can also then be quickly be reinforced at the front line so they don't have to run back to the base. I mean, that sort of seems to be the beauty of this strategy, you know. He's essentially relying on the infantry half tracks to sort of do the most of the, you know, soaking up the damage, and then he's basically just, you know, using expert repairs to quickly sort out any damage. I mean, note the BARs and riflemen are actually having a bit of trouble damaging it.
Losing ground out there.
So in that sense, pretty clever. Now he's going for the Panzer Elite command. He's probably going for armored cars. He knows he probably shouldn't have to worry about any sort of armored cars from the Americans or anti-tank guns run away. But there we go. Infantry half track taking down. But no, he actually retreats now. He could have knocked it out, I think. But I think ChargerReloaded got a bit too nervous. And thus, again, EliteJager's rather clever little plan is working in his favor. That sort of details like that, which of course can be a bit hard to determine for the player. And now we are seeing sticky bombs, but no, half-track getting out, and he's gone defensive veterancy, which means, of course, it moves a bit faster. But it also gets a bit tougher and a bit harder to damage. And the first of the defensive veterancy upgrades is actually the most effective one, so I mean, that would be the one you go for if you actually want most out of it. Or there's still no wrong idea in getting some offensive, so the MG gets a bit more accurate and fires a bit faster and all that.
Taking one of our points.
So slight details there. Medic station now up for ChargerReloaded. I would have liked to see that up a bit earlier. Trias center as well. He's continuing in the infantry way, but again, an armored car could really throw a wrench into his plans. Medics getting gunned down by the infantry half-tracks. Flamethrower engineers, and immediately pinned down by suppressive volleys from the Panzer Grenadiers. Oh dear. American commander is still holding most of the territory. In fact, there's only 4 pieces of territory for the Panzer Elite commander of EliteJager. So that's quite drastic, but there we... No, that's a kitten crowd. That's not an armored car. Never mind. I thought that might have been one. Riflemen taking heavy losses. They're getting gunned down, and engineer team is also down. Medics pulling in the wounded, but... Oh dear, things are looking a bit dangerous. Those infantry half-tracks with Panzer Grenadier support are really taking a heavy toll on ChargerReloaded, and there we go, the armored car has arrived, finally. And it's not a kit crowd like I suspected previously. Of course, the BARs can still do a bit of damage, but they need proper cover to really get about that. Otherwise, they're just going to get killed too swiftly before they can do any real damage. Player going up for ChargerReloaded. Medic station getting blasted with autocannon fire, and of course just continuing to repair those infantry half-tracks pretty swiftly using again those expert repairs. Really a great upgrade. In this case, it's really paid off its dividends to Mr. EliteJager several times over. Of course, infantry half-track though gets too close. It could, yes, sticky bomb on it, sticky bomb. And there we go, damaged engine. Panzer gets quickly get out to repair. Riflemen trying something in the north, but are getting run off by another armored car. ChargerReloaded is certainly not giving up. He's certainly trying, to be aggressive, to be flanking, but of course it's a bit difficult with such a highly mechanized force, which can quickly react, and of course the ability of the Panzer Grenadiers to pretty quickly negate most damage done to the half-tracks. I mean, it's not certainly something I see every day, and I certainly thought that was pretty interesting and certainly worthy of showing. Rangers now have arrived, though bazookas might change things up a bit for ChargerReloaded against EliteJager. And there we go, bazookas flying and absolutely missing their targets. Now moving in from the north, though, going for the cut-off point, thus again damaging the sort of territorial control of the 2nd SS Panzer Division Das Reich.
Is now available to Jäger Command is now available to aid our worthy cause.
And there you go, armor cars moving in, but of course heavy cover does negate the damage they can do somewhat, and of course the BS can still hit them reasonably well. So of course you can get more in, that might do the trick. Rangers and riflemen moving in from the south, heavy damage to the infantry half-track. Will the armor cars pull out? Or will the Ranger riflemen push from the south be allowed to continue? No replacement medic station up. These riflemen have been finally pushed out as Fallschirmjäger, and yes indeed, also some new Fallschirmjäger skins, although in this case they're everybody the same more or less, but still pretty snazzy stuff. And FG-42s, the Fallschirmgewehr 42. A lot of weapons were made in 42 for the Germans, a lot of the more memorable ones. The MG-42, FG-42, and so on. And the Stu-42 for that matter. Armored cars moving out on a patrol from the north, ready to keep the flanks of the 2nd SS clear. Offensive veterancy, thus increasing accuracy and rate of fire and all that off the armored car more. And these riflemen need to get out of there. Get out of there, men. Cloaked kitten crowd, of course, once more signaling this sort of Luftwaffe approach. And there we go, charging right at the bazookas. But armored cars, of course, are now flanking the position. Pieces of wood fly to bits as they're splintered by bazooka rockets. Heavy losses for the rifle and the Rangers, though, do not lose a single man. things are looking a bit against ChargerReloaded all of a sudden. Those armored cars have changed things out a bit. Jägers running out of flamethrower. The FG-42s to no avail against the fires of doom, it seems. And both end up retreating. Fancy that. And now we are seeing Armada coming out for EliteJager against sort of perhaps, expecting some sort of armor. And he's certainly, pretty secure in the killing infantry department. He has Jägers, armored cars, infantry half-tracks, Panzer Grenadiers with Gewehr 43s. But of course, if ChargerReloaded were to get something like, say, an armored car, or a Sherman, or a tank destroyer, things might pretty quickly fall apart for EliteJager. So of course, getting the Marder 3 is the reasonably best choice in this case. Fighting continues, flanking again, but again, not quite a lot of cover. No sandbags, another medic station up. Riflemen taking heavy losses. Rangers not joining in the fun, or what? Oh, the riflemen could be going down to the armored cars. Heavy automatic fire. Mines down for ChargerReloaded. Oh dear, he just made it out there barely. Just barely, that was horrendous. Kettenkrad up here to sort of essentially scout out the base of Mr. ChargerReloaded. Let's actually see how much you can see. You can actually see quite a bit, so clever little sneaky trick that. Also allows line of sight for the Marder 3 to actually begin knocking out the barracks. And quite instantly there's been nobody that's... And there we go, assault moving in, and again using the heavy cover here. Although again, if he might have been really clever, he might actually lay down some sandbags, to really get the most out of the heavy cover, and of course also make it harder for the armored cars to flank. That's also creating a harder defensive position for them to crack. But there we go, armored cars moving in. Bazooka rockets flying. Would have been nice if there had been another Ranger team, I think, but still the heavy BAR fire can still do something. And again, going for the cutoff point again. Really trying his best to sort of cut the flow of resources to the 2nd SS. Jägers moving in. Still no real attempt at against sandbags. Would have been nice, would have been nice. Marder 3 moving into the base. Oh dear, that could end up ugly. And there we go, sticky bomb. More Rangers would be needed. Riflemen being sent in alongside some flamethrowers to deal with those Jägers. In an attempt to protect the medic station, which is currently a bit smouldering. Jägers once more pushed out, and Marder 3 is caught in the enemy base. Supply yard though is down. Supply yard is down. Tree center could be going down as well. Armored car is down. Oh dear, and a mortar half track coming in. And will the Marder 3 actually make it out of there? That would be... No, never mind. And looks like a infantry half track could be taken out. No, armor cover actually falling apart. And I fear one rifleman team might not make it home. And again, I mean, this little clever trick basically, lets them keep an eye on all what's happening. Still some losses. Armored car, half track down. I mean, Marder 3 down, not the half tracks. The half tracks are actually still there. Again, the sort of defensive efficiency, and then of course the expert repairs, basically keeping them together.
Forward supply lines are broken.
But of course now more Rangers, of course, means more bazookas, and of course that means a larger chance of something getting knocked out if he decides to sort of rather fusillate things. Then again, he might also want to continue sort of the divergent attacks. He's going, the sort of long flanks, where the sort of screen of infantry half-tracks with Panzer Grenadiers and the armored cars can't really quickly as well protect. And of course, you can get in some good positions where they actually have to attack. That's of course giving the Rangers an even greater advantage. More Jägers arriving now on the flank here.
Achtung! Enemy forces are attacking our petrol depot.
Moving out for the fatherland. More FG-42s, the Falschen Gewehr 42. Essentially thought of as a sort of battle rifle light machine gun. It sort of actually ended up, was also sort of an early idea of an assault rifle. Fun bits like that. And now moving in on several flanks. Jägers armor cars coming under fire, but little cover here. And quick counterattack by SS Panzer Division, supported by Jägers of the 3rd Jäger Regiment. artillery getting called in right there. How will this work out? No idea. Apparently not doing much though. A bit of a shame. Bit of a shame. Have to be careful about artillery in such cases. Although I suppose if you just want to sort of break up the formation, then of course it did its job. And again, going for the cutoff point. This time with more bazookas. But will he be laying down sandbags? Will he be bang cow? Will he be making it harder for the Panzer Elite to sort of counter-attack and take the point? That's rather what I'm sort of wondering about. And another artillery attack, knocking out several Panzer Grenadiers of the half-track. That was quite vicious. And even doing quite a bit of damage to one of the other half-tracks. And Rangers could be moving in for an assault. Armored car rushing straight into this. Thompson submachine guns are also ready. Oh, no, dear. EliteJager's armored cars are completely gone. If the Rangers now move in, they could be doing a lot of damage. Oh dear, ChargerReloaded, show that you're a charger. Charge, for heaven's sake, charge. But no, he's actually holding back. He's not moving forwards, but now he finally seems to be. Jäger's doing heavy damage to the riflemen. They need to get out of there, which of course leaves only the Rangers. More artillery getting called in. Rifleman team down. Panzer Grenadiers almost done. Over the end, the half-tracks are completely exposed. Come on, far up, men. And a cut-off attempt by the Panzer Grenadiers. And looks like the half-tracks might be getting out of there. Damaged engine. Jäger's moving in. No, the half-track has actually gone down. An infantry half-track has finally bitten the dust. My goodness, those Rangers have done quite a bit of damage. Several half-tracks and armoured cars have gone down in a few seconds. And it could easily have been a lot more worse had ChargerReloaded just been a bit more aggressive. I think he could have gotten those last two armoured half-tracks as well. But still absolutely incredible. More Jäger's now being called in to make up for the lost vehicles and to quickly reinforce the lines. And a weapon support center now going up for ChargerReloaded. Quite interesting. Actually, time to return to ChargerReloaded, and it's time for the mid-game analysis. So, I mean, what is the current situation? Things are looking, well, you know, not entirely good for ChargerReloaded. I mean, he's charging in, but at the same time, he's sort of lost the nerve at this sort of very important point where he could really have done some damage to EliteJager. But still, he's done quite a bit of damage. He's knocked out several armoured cars, but now, of course, there are several vicious death patrols of Jägers now roaming the battlefield, which is certainly going to be a bit of a problem. But at the same time, you know, there's quite a bit of harassment going on, so he certainly does have that. But, I mean, what can ChargerReloaded do? He might consider, you know, getting a 3SN. Well, he outdrawn it. I mean, not the 3SN, another medic station up again. A third one, I suppose. It might be an idea to sort of go for something armoured, or perhaps, you know, as swiftly as possible, go for the off-map combat group and hope for something that can actually be useful. I'm not entirely sure if he wants snipers at this stage, because I'm pretty sure that's what he's going for with this weapons support center. But I suppose it's an idea. Of course, he might also just go for more Rangers, and of course, you know, just try to hammer his way in, but I'd certainly recommend perhaps another medic station. And for the SS EliteJager, I mean, he's doing better. I mean, he's just suffered quite a blow, but he's able to do quite a bit of damage, though he's also been constantly harassed. Continuing with the Jägers is certainly not a bad idea, although it will also be a bit careful in the longer run. Marder free, you know, good in case there comes some sort of armoured business out, but might be an idea to perhaps, you know, consider either increased squad sizes for the Panzer Grenadiers, perhaps some defences, perhaps some Luftwaffe troops to gate out some flak feelings, or the Flak 88 if he's even gotten that far. The possibilities are certainly quite many. But let's return to the fight. Let's see what happens. But clearly at this stage, I mean, EliteJager does hold the sort of stronger hand, although I'm pretty sure ChargerReloaded can still do some nasty tricks. We've certainly seen him several times really turn the tables on EliteJager, although he then sort of, he didn't quite have the ambition to really pull it through, though, which is rather what I feel is a bit tragic. Now going for another supply to, of course, help with this sort of manpower drain. And things are repaired once more for EliteJager. Again, the expert repairs really paying for themselves. Kettenkrad sort of still hanging about, not doing much. Fallschirmjägers pretty much being left to sort of seize territory. Small engagement here between Riflemen and Fallschirmjägers. Riflemen clearly having the shorter end of the stick, being out negative cover, and you know, be careful with the negative cover. It makes the troops easier to hit and damage. Rangers advancing up here, mortar half-track firing away. Panzer going to take up position in the house. And bazooka rockets, at least trying to pelt the house. Most of them actually miss it. And mortar round continues to fall in support of the Panzer Grenadiers and Fallschirmjägers as they assault. That mortar half-track is certainly going to
Losing ground out there.
cause a quite large problem. Looks like the Fallschirmjägers are massing for an assault. That would actually probably be around a full Fallschirmjäger squad. That is 12 men. 3 teams. 12 FG-42s. And the Rangers basically decide to leg it. Scarpa make a run for it. Lead the way back to the base because they can't face that much automatic fire. And he's not in positions like that. Riflemen taking quite some serious losses. And of course this could mean the mortar half-track perhaps could get a bit close and fire right into the base. That would certainly do quite a bit of damage.
We're losing ground out there.
Continuing efforts here on the western wing though. Sniper on the way for ChargerReloaded. And again moving in for an assault on the base. Fallschirmjägers and Armada 3. Another medic station up, very close to forming a full rifleman team. Sniper under fire from the Fallschirmjägers. One getting sniped right through the face. Whoops, let's try to find a slightly better camera angle. Right here, firing away at the weapon support center. Sniper could perhaps be firing a bit more freely at those Fallschirmjägers. He needs to keep up the pressure, keep up the rate of attrition. And there we go, Kettenkrad actually moving a bit closer. Artillery could be called in here, only sort of, you know, locked down Marder 3. That could work. Weapon support center down. Rifleman team actually reformed, but a vehicle wind has arrived. And now part of the assault are moving in. Fallschirmjägers coming under fire. Incendiary rounds actually keeping the rest penned in. And there we go. Artillery on the Marder 3, or at least close to it. Fallschirmjägers going down. Marder 3 also taking some damage, but it's not quite knocked out. But at least the medic stations have sort of paid off for themselves, although he's paid quite a bit for them by now. And that's the third one, so that's 450 manpower. Not quite as great. Now the Veiled Wind is moving in to sort that out. Oh dear, the Kettenkrad might finally be going down. It's caught. And there we go, the Kettenkrad finally bites dust. Its sneaky reconnaissance mission is over. It has joined the Quiet Eternal. Quick retreat right here. Luftwaffe squads have arrived and they've also been updated a bit. Although not quite as flexible as the previous ones from Super Duper Dude. They still look pretty nice, pretty snazzy. Great camouflage uniforms. So there you go. Bit of fun with that. Quickly repairing the Marder 3. But again, I mean, it wouldn't have been necessary, I suppose. Again, considering all the elite repair Panzer Grenadiers, but I figure he figures he might be needing them for the front lines. Rangers moving up, again hoping to do the damage with the bazookas. But again, getting stopped. Too much fire. Simply too much fire. Panzer is getting sniped, though. Veterans, he won already for this sniper. 5 kills. Sticky bomb could be going off on the vehicle. No, he pulls out. And it could be getting close to a off-map combat group. Could be.
We are losing contact with one of our sectors.
And what shall the Luftwaffe troops be doing? No idea, but only looks like one of them actually has the kit on his back, and that would be the squad leader this time around. Interesting. Rangers moving up. Could be catching the Wirbelwind with a lot of bazookas. No, they knock out their medic station instead. And Actually using to lay down barbed wire. Good move right there. Very nice, very nice. Rather than they're moving in, and they are in negative cover. Though the Luftwaffe troops need to get out of there. They're troops of the Luftwaffe, not Fallschirmjägers. And Fallschirmjägers running into a lot of problems. In fact, they're catching on fire. And again making a push for the cutoff point. Again making a sort of grand assault. Luftwaffe troops doing their best to hold the line, but they're not quite managing it. Again, the Luftwaffe field troops, however, are manly and stoic. They can be there, not Fallschirmjägers. They sort of lack the firepower to really make any sort of large force like that stop. And again, lots of Rangers, but again, now we do have a problem. There's the mortar half-track, which could make holding this position a bit perilous, but he's moving in with his Rangers. He's even moving in with the rifleman. He's basically just swinging about to hit the rear lines. Now the question becomes, how swiftly can EliteJager actually move about his lines and reorganize his forces? But does, oh dear, ChargerReloaded slows down again. But artillery gets called in. Some losses, but not quite enough. Going for both points, because if you hold either of these, of course, both of them actually needs to sort of be held off. Otherwise, you know, you can still be connected from here to these points. And that was a slightly roundabout way of saying things. Sorry.
Reinforcements available.
Off-map combat group almost finished. Bazookas not quite penetrating the frontal armor of the Wirbelwind. Fallschirmjägers and riflemen fighting more veterans. If these Fallschirmjägers interested enough, he's only going for defensive. Wire being cut by engineers. Riflemen, oh dear, it's quite the horrific massacre. Sniper goes down, hunted down by the infantry half-track as he was trying to retreat. And Panzer Grenade stop the rifleman right here, which also allows the infantry to get out of there without getting sticky bombed. And offensive veterans for that one, 11 kills. That's certainly done quite a bit of job, I imagine. And medics getting... No, wait. Was that a medic? Or was that some rifleman? And the half-track finally bites the dust, though. And looks like another rifleman team bit the dust as well in the same time. And off-map combat group, hey, machine gun riflemen and 2 anti-tank guns. This could be it. This could be the thing to really give those Krauts a beating. They will... Well, not right away, forget at least. But a heavy machine, of course, can also be used against those Fallschirmjägers and the likes. And there we go. Panzer Grenade is getting shut down. And the Wirbelwind runs right into the... Oh, dear. It barely had a chance. Wirbelwind burst into flames within seconds. Second SS Panzer Division, das Reich, running into a bit of problems. Marder Fleet pulling back. Mortar half-track a bit further back as well. He's sending a bit of problems. He really only has the Fallschirmjägers now to sort of act as the line between the Americans and a complete collapse.
57mm at your service.
So a rather thin screen, in fact. Although he is pulling in his Luftwaffe troops and Panzer Grenades to the front again, not even bothering to reinforce the full Luftwaffe troops properly. Panzer Grenades forced off. And we are seeing the Flak 88 going up. Anti-tank guns ready. Flanking attempt here right here by Fallschirmjägers. Certainly good aggression right there. And the Fallschirmjägers doing absolute horrible damage using their ambush ability. Really tearing through the riflemen. And ambush essentially means that when they cloak, of course, when they then find they actually are a lot more accurate. I do believe they might also be doing more damage. Anti-tank guns moving forward, but right into the Fallschirmjägers and the mortar fire. Oh dear, one AT gun goes down. A flak has gone up. A flak has gone up. And the flak gunners are merrily gunning down whatever they can see.
We're down to 100 points.
And riflemen are in a lot of trouble. What do? They run right into a building, right in front of the flak, the Marders, the Fallschirmjägers. But they just do it so they can call in artillery on the flak. And actually quite low on Victory points for ChargerReloaded, but returning to EliteJager. His Rangers still sort out the west. Some of them with Thompsons. And the flak gets cleared out. Americans certainly not looking all too well there. That movement with the anti-tank guns didn't quite work out in their favor. Forward barracks up. And recruiting the flak 88. Rifle moving in on the flank. Rest seems to be sort of assembling right here. Mortar half-tech moving up. Fallschirmjägers nearby to provide protection. Good move. And the rest. Oh dear, that's quite a bit. FG 42s, Gewehr 43s. Luftwaffe 2 might even be moving up to join the fight finally. Mortar half-tech getting pelted, but it dodges it all. Fallschirmjägers on the other hand getting stopped by the heavy machine gun. And some riflemen gunning right through them. Anti-tank gun does not get recruit, but then again, it's not really worth it. It would just be a waste of infantry since it's got barely anything. Artillery getting called in on the fort. Oh! That was several Fallschirmjägers, Panzer, Grenadiers, and even some Luftwaffe. A full retreat. And Mortar half-tech itself is in trouble. Mortar half-tech finally bites the dust, and the only thing really now holding everything back is a very, very thin screen of 2 martyrs and a flak 88. Would have been great if all ChargerReloaded had was armor, but he has infantry. But it doesn't look like he's actually making the move. He's back at the base. He's not pushing. Oh dear. An absolutely golden chance was missed, and now Flaps is acting silly. So that was quite tragic, I'd say. An absolutely golden chance to really do some damage to the Panzer Elite was missed. And he's recruiting the anti-tank gun. Panzer is getting suppressed. Fallschirmjägers, Luftwaffe troops, everything moving to the front.
Send your mission orders.
No one fully reinforced though. Rangers moving through the moon's surface right here. It's heavily cratered. Moving for the Flag 88. Trying to knock it out with the bazooka rockets. Fallschirmjägers moving in to flank though. And butterfly bombs being called in. And for some reason he actually pulls out. Mind you, butterfly bombs are not artillery. They're more mines, so they can still do some nasty bits. Several BARs have been left behind, but they are not being secured by anyone. Not the Luftwaffe troops, for example. They could use that increased firepower against the Americans. And the heavy machine gun actually getting sorted out. It looks like it does some damage though, and even gaining veterancy 1, but it's too little too late. And the heavy machine gun crew dies a valiant death, and Fallschirmjägers looks like they might be moving in to secure it.
Victory point target secured.
So a bit of increased firepower there. Luftwaffe troops moving up. More butterfly bombs, but still
Yes, sir. Let's go.
no BAR secured. No BAR secured at all. That does make me a bit sad. More barbed wire though. Good usage though. I mean, always try to get some barbed wire down. Always try to make it harder for your opponent to move around on the battlefield.
Soon we'll have our victory.
It looks like ChargerReloaded might be trying to charge into the flank right here. Forward barracks and the old barn being used by the Fallschirmjägers. And machine guns heading up to cover that victory point. Very little left back though for ChargerReloaded. EliteJager holding the line. And another mortar half-tag up for EliteJager as well. And there we go. Large engagement here on the east. Fallschirmjägers, Riflemen, Rangers. Some machine guns, BARs, FG-42s. Fallschirmjägers though rip the Riflemen a new one, but the Rangers continue the fight. And break through even. Leaving the way to the Flak 88 quite open. Riflemen moving in on the flank. Mortar half-tech being threatened. things open for good assault, I imagine. Off-map combat group, armored car, anti-tank guns again, and another rifleman team. Not quite anything really. And there we go, artillery on the Flak 88, clearing out the crew. And the Rangers following up. Could they even be attempting to accrue it? I have no idea. Luftwaffe troops getting stopped by the M8 Greyhound. And the Rangers moving in. Could they be hoping to recruit that? Flag 88. Nope. EliteJager denies them it. Rather figuring he'd rather have to build a new one rather than face the risk of Rangers securing it. And here it would have been nice if Mr. ChargerReloaded actually had some grenades researched, but sadly he did not. Now the Rangers are forced to run. Oh dear, an inhumane run through the minefield. Anti-tank guns without support at all. And Panzer is on the run for the Greyhound with its 50 caliber machine gun. And GG from ChargerReloaded. Realizing the 1st Infantry Division could not survive against SS Panzer Grenadiers and Fallschirmjägers. And there we go, a victory for the Panzer Elite, for EliteJager. And of course, what are the lessons we sort of can learn from this game? I mean, we saw a pretty different start from the Panzer Elite Commander. We saw sort of focus on infantry, half-tracks right from the beginning, and then sort of using expert repairs to really have them soak up most of the damage. That's of course meaning he didn't have to spend a lot of resources on constantly reinforcing Panzer Grenadiers, and that quite worked out for him several times. Also rather allowed him to stay on the front for much longer periods and really drain down ChargerReloaded. ChargerReloaded on the other hand showed some really good things by attacking from different angles and of course forcing the enemy to come to him. And of course, basically just sort of avoiding most of the front line where most of the tough units were, and then basically going for where all the weak units were. Good move, very clever that. Problem was that at the same times when he then finally managed to really get that punch in, he didn't follow up. He didn't follow up, and that was probably what really lost him the game. He didn't follow up. So, there you go. I do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.